Welcome to your 4x4. We're exploring some of the best destinations just out of Melbourne with an epic 5-day road trip. And this is day 4, exploring the Mount Cole State Forest northwest of Melbourne. Your 4x4 is presented by Iveco, Trek, ARB, Cooper, Narva, Piranha, Boss Aluminium, MyCOOLMAN and Patrolapart Navarapart.
The Mount Cole State Forest sits around an hour west of Ballarat and 25 kilometres north of the township of Beaufort in central Western Victoria. Created around 390 million years ago, this mountain range forms the gateway to the Grampians. The local Indigenous tribe aptly named it Mount Wild, and after Major Mitchell's 1836 exploration, the area was settled and timber harvesting began. The region is a haven for native flora and fauna. Popular with hunters, campers and bushwalkers, there's numerous campsites, a great mix of four-wheel drive tracks and a number of scenic lookouts. Our day starts with a sign of a bygone era.
Someone from our convoy happened to spot a sign on the side of the road that is the original site for the Mount Cole School. There's nothing there but a sign, but you look in there and you can just imagine what was there back in the day. I would have loved to have seen what it looked like, whether there was 10 students, whether there was 500 students. I never thought I'd get so much just from standing in front of a sign and being able to imagine.
Day 4 of our 5 forests in 5 days. We headed to Mount Cole from Blackwood Forest.
We're staying at Chinaman's campground. It's an awesome little spot. Bird life and stuff around is unreal. There's crazy variety, as you just see that one just fly through. It's obviously thriving out here.
Mount Cole is probably the most rockiest place I know that I've ever gone around in Victoria. We're not far from the Grampians. When you come into Mount Cole, you see there's a lot of rock ledges you can sit out on and look at the view, and they're amazing.
Convoy rolling. All right, turning left onto Ridge Track, guys. Looks like it's a tight one, so take it nice and wide. I'll probably go up first and have a bit of a look. I think there could be a little bit of a challenge up here.
Yes, please. Nothing happened to the car.
All right, follow me up, Grant, for this first bit.
You're in low range. Don't turn the compressor on.
Don't need it just yet.
Just to get ready.
Get ready if you want.
Today we tackled Ridge Track. Didn't think it was going to be hard, but...
Right, at that first little climb now, it's pretty straightforward. If you've got a rear diff lock, engage it, and just look for the high spots as you're travelling from left to right across the track.
Turned out to have a nice technical ruts coming up to it. Once again, Simon asked me to try and find the difficult line, which I do quite well.
Next up is the MyCOOLMAN car. No suspension, just a set of Cooper tyres. They're going to be the ones that have the most challenging crack at this track.
Yeah, Simon was really, let's say, enormous helpful. He gave great advice, great direction. I basically concentrated on him and not so much on the track anymore, and that was good enough to get me through.
Not a hard climb, but we've definitely got a bit of elevation.
Oh, we got reception up here, remember?
Holy moly, guys, there's a huge rock face up ahead.
Day 1 at Woods Point, I had my son locked in the driver's seat, and today I had James with me in the passenger seat, and it was a good opportunity for him to learn and start picking the line. So I was following what he was telling me to do and where he thought we should go.
Oh, wow. Oh, I might go. I think maybe left. Maybe.
Forward low, manual, first gear, let's do it. I decided to give it a decent go, put it into rock mode, climbed my way up to the top. Little did I know that I was going to become an airplane. We brought along our Raptor. It's done quite a few trips now. It's built to all these trips and it has basically everything on it. Obviously, it's decked out with lighting. We've got lighting galore. 2 of our 215s and 2 of the 180s, our high performance LED. And just to complement that, we've got our double row Explorers on the roof. We've got 2 of those. We've really got some good tyres on it, so we're going to make sure that we really get into the tracks and try and enjoy it as much as possible.
I've found that when the wheels are on the ground, you generally have a bit more drive and a bit more traction.
You're sitting up pretty high in the Iveco, so you get a fantastic view of everything, which is sometimes you'd rather not see some of the stuff Simon's about to drag you into.
Well, that's looking serious then.
You've got to know what you're doing because Mount Cole really throws absolutely everything at you. I always say to anyone, if you're going to Mount Cole, come with someone, don't come on your own. It really is a gnarly track. Proof was in the pudding today.
Tyre.
As I was going up, I've dropped into a rut, gave it a little bit of poke to get myself out of it, and bang, off comes the tyre off the rim. I'm like, oh, here we go.
A big psh, and from the top, lots of, ooh, oh no, that's not good.
He's really given it what for, and the whole thing just went pop on the back wheel, the dust coming out.
Tyre.
Car was off balance, it was in a rut. Quite a steep incline. It's difficult enough walking around there as well.
I love this angle. It's my favourite angle.
Picking the right line key. You don't pick the right line, you'll end up in a world of trouble.
I've got a really bad predicament here. He's on off camber, he's in a big rut. The tyre is right off the bead. Not really sure how we're going to get out of this.
They got me to back the Rhino down because I had the closest one with a decent air compressor that we can hook up.
Bit of teamwork and we came up with a pretty good plan of how we're going to recover the car out of there.
We had a lot of really experienced people on the job, and then we had some people that were off to the side watching and learning.
I chipped in to help with the recovery, just trying to assist to make it easier, so not one person's doing all the work.
At the start it was left side down with the left tyre off the bead. We worked out that the best way to get that tyre in the air to be able to re-inflate it and clean the bead was to get the right side down.
Really difficult situation because the car's still off camber. We've levelled it out a little bit, but I'm worried it's not going to be enough.
A bit of clever winching, reversing, just being really careful, rock packing the whole lot, just to try and get the car in a safe position.
The guys did a great job, secured the vehicle against a sizable tree.
We had the winch out attached to a tree so that if the car did roll back, it's basically being held by the winch, which is pretty important, especially when you're jacking somewhere on such a steep angle. Safety comes first.
They're winching me onto trees, they're jacking me up, they're filling underneath it, they're manoeuvring me into a position that they could reseat the bead, which means basically they're going to put the tyre back on the rim and inflate it right on the track.
We had to grab hold of that, make sure the car was stable before we pulled the bead on. Yeah, there was a few guys there helping out, so that was good teamwork.
The whole thing was secure the vehicle, make sure it's safe, it's not going to move, prop it, jack it, get some air on that rim and hug that tyre onto the rim to make sure you can get air into it, and eventually it'll just go pop like you see in the movies. Bang, and out I came.
I couldn't believe it's possible. I would have said, no, that's just not possible. They need a helicopter to lift it out.
Yeah, for the first time that I've seen something like that, I think Mike did a great job to get some extra attention, and he got a lot of it today.
Vehicle was recovered, bead was popped back on, and we're on our way again.
We came up to this very steep rise where I thought, oh my God, we can never get up there. And that looked pretty scary.
What do you reckon, Tyler? An interesting section of track?
Yeah, mate, it was a good spot down there. Very interesting track in the wet. I mean, if you're interested in that sort of more hardcore driving, this would be a place to come.
We're just at the top of the transmission tower. It would be a scenic view if it wasn't for all of the trees, but there you go, you can't have everything.
Amazing. I really loved the area we drove through. It had a lot of dead trees lying everywhere. In some parts you could see they were so fat, they must have been hundreds of years old.
The area today we found was really dense and a lot of ferns.
The track's got tighter and tighter and a lot of switchbacks, and that's what really causes dramas for me because the top edge of the truck starts leaning over. I've got branches, and the risk of doing damage, you know, pain versus gain, too high. So yeah, it's pretty scenic, but not white rhino country. Had a great lunch. Mike's done an outstanding job putting it together, as he always does.
Good to see Mount Cole. It's the first time we've been out here, and being so close to Melbourne, we'll be out here again for sure.
Definitely be back.
We found our way onto telephone track, and what a beauty. It is literally like that.
Andreas and Dave in the Rhino, how do you guys feel about being passengers for this half-turns drive?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine with that. I've got no dramas. Taking Simon's advice, I decided not to take my personal white Rhino up the steep rocky track, so I jumped in with Matt.
We don't want any damage, it's not what we're here for, it's not what we need. So we just carpooled a bit more, and I was fortunate enough to have Andreas and Lisa from MyCOOLMAN in my car.
Hey Tyler, the vehicle you're driving today, you guys have built yourself.
Yeah, this vehicle we bought as a stock vehicle, and we've accessorised it with everything that we sell day to day.
I'm out here in the MP300 Navarra. This car here is pretty much brand new. It's got about 40,000 Ks. We've gone pretty basic with it at the moment, but we've got two little sneaky products on this car today that people won't notice unless you really know your Navarra. Pretty excited about both of them. You should see something early in the new year from us.
The convoy moved up to the start of the hill on telephone track. Simon was first, so he went up. We could see him bouncing around, and it was pretty hard to see him because it was so steep.
Man, I'll tell you what, this track we're on right now is just getting nastier and nastier. It's going to be a bit of a challenge.
A lot of sharp rock, very dry, and a lot of ruts.
Long, unrelenting, probably the hardest track that we've done to this point on this trip.
Oh, a little bit stuck already. There's a nice rut in this section right here.
You know it's going to be a good track when Simon gets stuck.
Hearing Simon's commentating over the radio was kind of like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Oh, watch out for that rut, guys. That's nasty.
What a ride. Mount Cole turning it on for us.
I think it got a lot of our hearts racing down the bottom, but we were all pretty keen.
I was pretty confident. It looked quite grippy.
I sat in the car with Tyler, and I'm surprised how well his car made it. It was very bumpy, lots of jumping up and down.
Lucky enough to be able to just cruise straight up it in first low.
Tyler, you happy for me to come up?
Yeah, Matt, more than welcome.
Very happy with the Raptor, didn't disappoint. I think it was only 2 times on this massively steep hill that I could count that it actually lost traction. Other than that, the thing just basically climbed up. It did amazing.
Oh, wow. Oh, jeez.
It took the track quite easily, but definitely I had front and rear lockers on, and I could feel the centre locker auto locking in as well, and then it just tracked it up.
I had Mike inside in the car with me. It was the 2 M&Ms. We had the magic elf hanging off the back for dear life. Got up the track, got over the crossovers. Having the locker inside the vehicle, we could hear it engage and engage. It was just doing its job perfect.
I've got to say, how big diff locks front and rear.
Certainly did deliver. Totally different to the other tracks we've done previously. The thing that struck me the most was how long the hill was. We climbed for a significant amount of time.
Oh, geez, guys, you should see what we've got ahead of us. This is crazy.
Rocky, we're not even halfway.
I know.
Wow.
I'm feeling pretty damn happy right now.
100% we made the right decision to leave the
MyCOOLMAN Prado and the big white Rhino behind it.
Dave from White Rhino has got a big smile on his face. He's very happy with the decision he made.
The next section of this climb, let's see how we go. I'll tell you what, we are lucky that this is dry.
We saw Simon, say, going up first with the truck and the trailer, and I think at least once the trailer was more on the edge to fall over. It was amazing how much you can get out of the cars in a track like that. You see it from the bottom. You wouldn't expect that a car would even consider to go up there, but it was all good.
Most intense climb I've ever done, most intense track I've ever done. Rear diff locks, 4 low, basically first gear the whole way up. It didn't disappoint one bit.
We have a range of vehicles here, as you know. We left the Prado behind and we left the white Rhino. Every other vehicle we put up that track.
Simon said, oh, yeah, it'll just be a little obstacle just out of camp here. And sure enough, that turned into something pretty epic.
Piranha vehicle picked a different line, but did it easy.
Halfway up the hill, I said, look, I'm going to walk a little bit. I want to see it, how they crawl up the hill.
We went through this rock ledge and twang, bang, snap went the sway bar link, then the car just leaning to the side.
We were on 3 wheels and I was just like going, OMG.
That's amazing. I'm very lucky I'm not in the car. That would have given me a fright.
I watched Simon go up and there's a few times where it looked like he was sliding around a bit with the trailer, and I thought, geez, if Simon's struggling to get up there, how are any of us going to get up here in these dual cabs?
Good to see everyone made it to the top of the hill. It was a very challenging track.
Have you met Simon Christie? He's from VRS.
I had total confidence that everyone was going to drive up, no problems at all. I just felt like wearing blue.
Yeah,
so we managed to snap a sway bar link, so that means we were doing things right. So we've got the upgraded ones coming tonight.
Hey Dave, you know what I noticed while I was down here?
What's that?
Your sway bar link's gone. I'm having a look.
No, we just thought we'd take the sway bar link off so it'd articulate better.
Yep, she's good.
Simon, I think we'll just jack this up a bit because I really want to have a good look at the suspension. Let's just see how the air has gone. Has it lifted up yet? Hang on, Simon, I'll just see if I can get under and have a look. Oh, it's a bit tight, but yeah.
I've done that before.
It's a bit tight. Right now, Dave.
Should have a bit more traction.
Someone give me a camera and I'll get some great footage.
You're going to get a Hilux now? Nope, because all the way to that's been, I'm going to get G Patrol and then I'm going to do 6x6 and a 79 series and A's.
What's the latest dream car then, mate?
A Supra.
Oh, come on.
You're going to bloody walk home.
It's been a fairly relaxing day. To finish it off at that hill, like, it's just awesome. No other words for it, awesome.
If I keep lifting like this, I'll get as big as Dave one day.
Our next track was Eversley Sugarloaf track.
I was right behind Simon, watching all the firewood fall straight off the back of the Iveco. All that hard work, lost.
Didn't expect it to be too bad, but it was still pretty steep, still pretty rocky.
Raptor's making pretty light work of it.
Yeah. I've only got 4 wheels.
And as we came over the top, there was just an amazing view.
Wind farm on one side and rock face on the other. It was just awesome. Absolutely worth the fear factor getting up that hill.
Once we got to the top of Sugarloaf track, all we could see was this beautiful, magnificent vista. You could literally look as far as the eye could see.
Rolling hills, the trees, the grass, and it's still so lush and green.
Give him a kiss, will you? Maria, see how romantic that is?
We decided to hang out a bit longer and watch the beautiful sunset.
Day 4 of our 5-day adventure was an epic assault on some of the best tracks the Mount Cole State Forest has to offer. Join us next week for our final day and final forest as we head south for the tall timbers and mud of the Great Otway National Park. We'll see you then.